is Tamara Flanagan. I'm English, although I've had an Irish passport all my life, and I'm the head of projects in New Europeans, currently working primarily in London. And the project work is divided effectively into three parts, currently focused on supporting EU citizens and their families to cope with their change of status following Brexit and sign up for the new EUSS scheme. So the three parts are direct services, which are handled by Cecilia and Denisa, who provide information sessions and deal directly with EU citizens and their families, helping them to make applications, and also take referrals from the community work and organize training for volunteers and other individuals who could be helping EU citizens to a limited extent.
I'm Italian and I moved to London in 2018. I've started to work for New Europeans UK in April 2020, and I immediately felt as a part of a dynamic and welcoming team. My work as EU Settlement Scheme caseworker involves assisting migrant communities in accessing proper and reliable legal support to the EU Settlement Scheme. The USS project started in 2019, and since then, New Europeans has physically supported more than 1,000 people applying to the scheme. We work together with communities such as the Roma, the Italian, Somali, and Albanian-speaking one. When during the lockdown we were forced to move our activities online, we managed to open a new advice service on the phone, opening an advice line and organizing informative sessions to raise awareness about the USS, trying to reach as many people as possible. During the summer 2020, we undertook research to understand the impact of the digital-only status on at-risk communities we work with. The research resulted in a report called Digital Status Handled with Care, published last November. As the deadline to apply is on 30th of June, our work is currently focusing on supporting applicants to submit an application on time, especially those individuals who we were not able to support during the lockdown as they're digitally excluded. Thankfully, I have an amazing team supporting this work under different aspects. In the future, I hope to continue working with migrant communities and organizations, supporting them in securing and exercising the rights in the UK in order to avoid consequences of the hostile environment.
I'm originally from Czech Republic, but my origins are European Roma. And I came to UK about 14 years ago, and I qualify as a first European Roma in the UK as a solicitor, as a lawyer in 2018. Legal background is working and help European people to stay in the UK and have a legal status in the UK. I've been working for Air Centre based in London with the Roma community as the Roma legal officer. So I have a deep knowledge and experiences in the European field. I specialize in complex cases. So my experiences are working with homeless people, with victims of trafficking and modern slavery, domestic violence.
The second area of work is advice and community work, which is primarily led by Lydia Martin, which is responsible for developing the capacity of community groups to help EU citizens and their families, give them advice and support with the assistance of immigration advisors and our advisors.
I'm British with a British passport. I think I'm the only one in the team who is. As Project Development Officer, I've been in post for just over a year now, and my post is funded by Trust for London. And the focus over a number of years of funding from Trust for London has been on working with the voluntary and community sector who may not be specialists in immigration advice and support. And it's been a really exciting opportunity now that we've had renewed funding for Trust for London for another 2 years to continue that work. I think it's a really kind of unique place that New Europeans UK has sort of carved for itself to be working so closely with the voluntary and community sector around EU citizens and their rights and safeguarding their rights to continue living in the UK. We really value that relationship with our partners, our community partners, because they know their community so well. And we're able, as a small team, to be able to respond to their needs and their concerns and issues from the communities that they support and work with. So I'm really looking forward to the next 2 years to continue that work and to really create some meaningful and worthwhile relationships with our community partners across London, so that we can carry on supporting vulnerable EU citizens and their families. I think the beauty of the team is that because we're small in number, it means that we can really work closely together, really try and support each other in the work that we're doing, which is very challenging obviously for the people that we work with. So I'm looking forward to the next 2 years.
All of this work, the first two elements, are supported by communications work, which aims to provide interesting, visually exciting, own language materials which are highly accessible to EU citizens. And that work is undertaken by Boromir.
Hi, I'm originally from Bulgaria. I moved to London at the age of 9, and London has been my home ever since. I joined New Europeans UK at a very interesting crossroads in my life when I actually moved back to Bulgaria in the middle of a global pandemic. And a lot of my work with New Europeans UK involved taking the team into the digital space, improving our communications online, making sure that our website speaks to our core audiences in our community groups, and just adapting us to be digitally intuitive for the future. I am really interested in seeing how New Europeans UK develops as a charity, and seeing what our name holds for the future of our organization, quite literally, and what a New European will look like in London and in the UK when the dust settles on the EUSS application deadline, and as we get to terms with what life after Brexit will mean for all of us.
Last but not least, by any manner of means, is the policy and influence work, which is led by Bella Kosmala at the Mayor's office, and she has been responsible for developing the Mayor's messages and support for EU Londoners, as well as influencing policy insofar as the Mayor undertakes some of that work.
I'm half Swedish, half Polish, and I am a New Europeans veteran, so I've got 6 years under my belt, I think. In the last 3 years, I have been on loan to the Mayor of London in his social integration team. It was meant to be a 12-month secondment, but the fact that it's been extended 3 times, I think, really shows the importance of the issues. So in these last 3 years, I've developed a program supporting EU citizens and their family members using the GLA's platform, and I've built, or attempted to build, a bridge between local government and civil society organisations, as well as European Londoners. So I did this by running a grant scheme for organisations working with vulnerable EU citizens, creating a relationship between them and the Mayor. And that was £180,000, which has gone to 37 organisations, and the Europeans got 3 of those grants. I also set up an information hub called European Londoners Hub. The target was to reach 50,000 people, but to date we've had more than 1.5 million people visiting it, and it's got lots of information and guidance on the EU settlement scheme in different community languages, which is then also used by organisations to support their clients. That one of the most amazing achievements, I think, of this secondment is to have really added substance to the Mayor's campaign, London is Open. So rather than it just being 3 words, it's contributed to over 5,000 European Londoners and their family members receiving free advice on the EU settlement scheme in these really kind of stressful times. I'm very grateful to New Europeans for seeing the value of this secondment and for continuing to lend me to the GLA. I also want to say that I really love our team at the moment, and that everyone brings brilliant expertise in their field and work really well together. I don't think New Europeans has ever been so efficient and has had more impact than we do now. So I'm hoping that we can continue to develop into a more mature organisation and work more closely with board members to achieve even more.